Did you know that Indonesia is home to over 17,000 islands? Yet only about 6,000 of them are inhabited. This sprawling archipelago is so vast it stretches wider than the continental United States, bridging 2 oceans and 3 time zones. Here, ancient rainforests hide flowers that reek of rotting meat, and dragons roam dry savannas like living myths. Bronze gongs echo through mountain air during harvest festivals, and motorbikes flow through cities like rivers of light and noise. And somewhere in this vast nation lies a city where secret tunnels once smuggled rebels beneath colonial streets, and whispers of resistance still cling to the walls. Join us now as we explore the Emerald of the Equator, Indonesia. Bali is more than just a destination. It's a living canvas painted with the rhythms of ritual and nature. Home to over 4 million people, the island pulses with a spiritual energy that's deeply woven into daily life. Its landscapes shift from black sand coastlines to jungle valleys and terraced fields that seem to defy gravity. Though known globally for tourism, much of Bali remains untouched by time, where offerings are made not for show but out of devotion. Its volcanic soil has nourished generations, its arts have shaped identity, and its vibrant festivals reflect a world where the material and mystical still walk side by side. Beneath its beauty lies a culture that endures, adapting yet unwavering, on an island that feels both immediate and eternal. Just east of Bali lies Lombok, an island of over 3 million residents where life moves to a different rhythm, quieter, slower, and steeped in a deeper stillness. Unlike its more famous neighbor, Lombok retains a sense of raw authenticity. Its history is etched into the land through ancient trade routes and cultural convergence between indigenous Sasak communities and outside influences that once arrived by sea. Towering volcanoes cast long shadows over white sand shores, and villages pulse with local markets and crafts that remain largely uncommercialized. This is a place where the modern world hasn't fully interrupted the patterns of the past, where the island's character is shaped more by community than commerce. Floating just off the southeastern coast of Bali, Nusa Lembongan is a small island of less than 8 square kilometers, with a population near 5,000 residents. Life here moves with the tides. Boats carry seaweed harvests as often as tourists, and ocean breezes sweep across limestone cliffs and hidden coves. The island's economy once depended almost entirely on seaweed farming, a tradition that still lingers in the quieter corners. With no cars and few roads, the pace of life is refreshingly simple, yet richly layered. It's a place where coral gardens bloom beneath the waves, and sunsets aren't backdrops, they're events. Nusa Lembongan feels less like a vacation and more like a rediscovery of how light, sea, and silence can shape the world. In the eastern reaches of Indonesia, Komodo Island looms like something from a different epoch, remote, stark, and awe-inspiring. Part of the Lesser Sunda chain, it spans over 390 square kilometers, but is home to only around 2,000 people. The island is best known for its ancient reptilian residents, but its story is far older and broader. Shaped by volcanic activity and tectonic upheaval, its terrain is jagged and dramatic, where savannas give way to coral-rich coasts. Life here has always been one of balance, with humans and nature adapting to each other in ways that defy modern norms. The waters surrounding Komodo are among the richest on Earth, drawing marine scientists and adventurers alike. This is not just an island, it's a remnant of prehistory's splendor. Yogyakarta, with a population nearing 500,000, is often seen as the cultural compass of Java, an urban landscape where tradition is not a relic, but a vibrant force. It's a city where centuries-old customs coexist with contemporary expression, where artisans, poets, and philosophers help shape civic identity. Rooted in the heart of an ancient kingdom, its legacy is one of learning, resistance, and resilience. Long considered a stronghold of local autonomy, Yogyakarta played a crucial role in shaping Indonesia's national consciousness. The streets hum with the sound of gamelan rehearsals and the scratch of paintbrushes, while nearby volcanoes serve as constant reminders of both destruction and renewal. This is a place where the past isn't preserved under glass, but lives through its people. Rising from the fertile heartland of Java, Borobudur is more than a monument. It is a journey in stone, a symbol of spiritual ambition carved into volcanic rock. Surrounded by dense jungle and mist-shrouded hills, it's easy to imagine how this marvel was once lost to time, buried under layers of ash and vegetation for centuries. Built during a golden age of syncretism between native beliefs and imported philosophies, its massive scale speaks to a society that valued enlightenment as much as engineering. Though it draws global attention today, its power lies in its silence, in how it speaks to eternity through the interplay of geometry, symbolism, and shadow. It's not just a landmark. It's a coded message from the past, reminding us that wisdom often outlasts empire. In the plains of central Java, Surakarta, often called Solo, stands as a living archive of Javanese tradition, where courtly grace and common life intertwine. Home to over 500,000 people, the city has long been a hub of performance, poetry, and textile craft. Its identity was forged not through conquest, but through continuity, maintaining customs that elsewhere faded or fractured. Though it has faced modern upheaval, Solo remains a place where the elegance of the past is not merely remembered, it is rehearsed daily in song, dance, and ceremony. Markets brim with handmade treasures, and neighborhoods form microcosms of shared memory. It's a city that doesn't shout its importance but reveals it slowly, like a story passed down, layer by layer through generations. Semarang rises on Java's northern coast as a city of convergence, where inland trade once met seafaring ambition. With a population exceeding 1.5 million, it has long served as a bridge between Indonesia's heartland and the wider world. The city's layered architecture speaks volumes. Traces of centuries-old merchant networks, colonial imprints, and local ingenuity. Yet for all its industrial pulse, Semarang holds a quieter soul beneath the surface, one shaped by family businesses, traditional crafts, and layered identities. It's a place where commerce and culture don't compete but coexist, where the forward march of development hasn't erased the contours of its story. This is a city that thrives on movement, of goods, of ideas, and of people who carry the past forward with every step. Tucked high in the mountains of Flores, Wae Rebo is a remote village where time feels less linear and more cyclical. With only a few dozen inhabitants, it remains one of Indonesia's most secluded settlements, accessible only by foot after a long trek through dense rainforest. The community lives in harmony with its rugged surroundings, upholding customs passed down verbally for generations. Here, daily life revolves around collective rituals, seasonal cycles, and ancestral reverence rather than modern convenience. The architecture reflects a deep connection to the environment, designed not just for shelter, but for communion. In a world of constant motion, Wae Rebo endures as a place where stillness holds value and history is carried not in books, but in breath, rhythm, and story. Once an overlooked cluster of hillside homes, Jodipan Village underwent a radical transformation that turned it into a visual symphony of color and purpose. What began as a grassroots revitalization effort became a national symbol of creative resilience. Though modest in size, the village, located on the edge of a much larger city, demonstrates the power of community action and aesthetic innovation. Today, it draws visitors for its vibrant facades, but its significance runs deeper. Locals have embraced tourism while retaining their social fabric, using art not just to attract outsiders but to strengthen internal pride. The village stands as a living case study in how beauty can inspire sustainability and how imagination can redefine identity. Between the well-trodden paths of Bali and Flores, Sumbawa lies largely untraveled, a place shaped by volcanic origins and centuries of maritime tradition. Its coastlines stretch wide and wild, while its interior rises into sharp ridges and dense forests. Home to roughly 1.5 million people, Sumbawa is defined by diversity, in language, in livelihood, and in worldview. Fishing and farming remain the lifeblood of its people, many of whom trace their roots back to island-crossing ancestors who navigated these waters before borders existed. The island's relative obscurity has preserved much of its authenticity, offering a glimpse into a way of life shaped more by nature's pace than economic ambition. It is not a destination for the hurried, but for the curious, the patient, and the observant. Remote and often overlooked, Sumba Island stretches across the sea like a forgotten chapter of an ancient manuscript. Its landscapes are stark, rolling savannas, undulating hills, and cliffs that fall away to thundering surf. Home to fewer than 1 million people, the island is culturally distinct, maintaining ceremonial rites and traditions not found elsewhere in the archipelago. Ancestral ties influence architecture, law, and agriculture, and community remains paramount in both celebration and hardship. The land demands respect, offering little to those who rush, but much to those who listen. Sumba's story is one of resistance against homogenization, where identity is preserved not in museums, but woven into fabric, sung during lullabies, and observed in the land's solemn beauty. Cradled in the highlands of North Sumatra, Toba Lake fills the caldera of a supervolcano with a calm that belies its cataclysmic origin. At over 1,100 square kilometers, it is the largest volcanic lake on Earth and home to nearly 250,000 people living on its shores in Central Island. The communities here are deeply tied to their ancestral lands, their customs shaped by centuries of semi-isolation and geological transformation. Unlike Indonesia's tropical lowlands, this region offers a cooler climate, where pine forests line the hills and silence speaks volumes. Beneath its waters lie stories of creation, destruction, and renewal, etched into the folklore and identity of the people. Toba is not just a lake. It's a vast, reflective chronicle of nature and humanity intertwined. Deep within South Sulawesi's karst country, Rammang presents a surreal landscape where human settlement and prehistoric terrain coexist. Surrounded by towering limestone spires and mirror-like wetlands, the village appears almost mythic. Its population is small, only a few hundred people, but their bond with the land runs deep. This region is among the oldest continuously inhabited areas in Indonesia, and its caves contain evidence of human presence dating back tens of thousands of years. Yet the pace of life remains unhurried, driven by tides and tradition rather than clocks or calendars. Fishing, farming, and verbal storytelling remain central. In Rammang, the present seems layered atop the past like sediment, each generation adding its weight, yet leaving the essence unchanged. Surrounded by volcanic ridges and lush highland forests, Bandung stands as a dynamic crossroads of creativity and climate. With a population exceeding 2.5 million, it has long been a center for education, fashion, and art, earning its nickname as a hub of innovation. But beneath the modern rhythm lies a layered history, one shaped by colonial legacies, independence movements, and cultural evolution. Its cooler temperatures and fertile soils have drawn people here for centuries, not just to live, but to shape the future. Street-side stalls hum with conversation, while architecture swings from Art Deco to avant-garde, reflecting a city comfortable in contradiction. Bandung doesn't rest in nostalgia or rush toward tomorrow. It thrives in the balancing act between the two. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. If you'd like to join us on the next one, then let's go travel here.